Hello learners, welcome to NIOS Studio. This is live Vidya program for Science and Technology, secondary course of NIOS. I am Neelam Gupta, course coordinator in Environmental Science. Welcome you all in this program. Learners, in our previous program, we have discussed about building blocks of life, which means cells and tissues. We have discussed cells. Cell is a structure and functional unit of all living beings, and during that program, we have discussed different cell organelles like cell membrane, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, mitochondria, their structure and functions in detail. And we have also given an idea about cell division, that is mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis, cell gives rise in two identical total cells, and it is needed for growth and repair of worn out parts. In case of meiosis, it involves in production of sex cells, which gives rise to the egg in a female and sperm in male. And we have also given discussed about tissues as a group of cells more or less alike in size, shape and perform the same functions and having a common origin. So, we have talked about plant tissues and as well as animal tissues too, their origin, their place where they are found and functions too. So, now we are moving to the next topic, that is life processes. This is lesson number 22 from module 5, living world. When we talk about life process, what does it mean? Simple meaning of life process is the activities by which living organisms take in food, derive energy, remove waste from their body and respond to change in the environment. So, during this program we will talk about basic life processes, includes nutrition, respiration, transportation of nutrients and fluids and excretion. The body carries out these functions for their survival. So, first we will talk about little bit about what are these four life processes. Nutrition involves several processes associated with intake of food, its metabolism and removal of waste left after food is fully metabolized. And these processes are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Respiration involves intake of oxygen and expelling of carbon dioxide for oxidation of food to get energy. Transportation is the circulation of food and oxygen to all tissues of the body, and excretion means removal of the waste nitrogen substances from our body. So, we will discuss during this processes. So, objective of this program is need for energy requirement for life processes, steps in photosynthesis, various modes of heterotrophic nutrition in living organisms, importance of the process of nutrition in humans, and we will also discuss about nutritional disorders and the concept of balanced diet too. So, first we will talk about nutrition. Imagine if you do not have food for a day or two, how do you feel in that case? You may feel very low, exhausted and weak, but if you do not get food for a few days, will you be survive or grow? So, your answer will be probably no. No, without food for several days, survival becomes uncertain and growth is impossible. So, why we need food? We all know that human beings need to food for survival. Food provides raw material that our body needs to grow and stay healthy, and food is also provides energy to carry out various life processes, or in short we can say food serves to provide energy to carry out life processes like respiration, digestion, excretion and many other processes. The food are also help in growth and repair of worn out and damaged cells and tissues, and also help in the production of enzyme and hormones in our body. So, first we will talk about the nutrition. So, nutrition defined as a process by which living beings obtain food, change food into simple absorbable forms and use it to make substances needed by our body. When we already know that the plant can make food by the process of photosynthesis, and all other animals or living beings including humans depend on plants for their food. So, in general we find there are two types of mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic nutrition means auto means self and trophos means food. And those prepare their own food, that is autotrophic. And heterotrophic nutrition, heteros means different and food means, trophos means food. Those who are dependent on the other autotrophic autotrophs, that is into heterotrophic nutrition. So, first we will talk about autotrophic nutrition. Green plant in autotrophs includes green plants, algae and certain bacteria. They manufacture their own food through photosynthesis. So, they are termed as autotrophs and their mode of nutrition is autotrophic nutrition. They are the producers of the food chain as well as organisms depend on for food on them. Heterotrophic nutrition are available are occurring in organisms, those depend on other organisms for their food. They are categorized in heterotrophs and their mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. Example, we can take animal nutrition. Now we talk about different types of heterotrophic nutrition. It may be holozoic, parasitic or saprophytic. So, we will discuss little bit about animal nutrition. And animal nutrition or holozoic nutrition involve various processes. Ingestion means intake of food, digestion means breakdown of food into absorbable form by enzymes, absorption includes transfer of digested food into bloodstream in order to reach cells. Assimilation, utilizing digested form of food to build large molecules of chemical, those are needed by the body. And egestion means unwanted or undesired or food, removal of undigested solid food is known as egestion. So, have you ever been experienced by bitten by lice on your head or bed bug and or had worm inside your body, or you experienced someone else? So, what we named for these organisms, we said they are parasites. So, organisms those lived on or inside other living organisms and derive their food from them are known as parasites, and nutrition mode of nutrition is called as parasitic nutrition. Cuscuta or deodar or amberbeet is a parasite on green plants. Look at the figure. And in case of animals, we find ascaris, tinea and many other organisms. So, and you also seen a white cottony growth developing on your wet leather shoes or belt, especially when they get wet during rainy days. This mass is known as fungus. So, fungus grows on and feeds on substances which were once part of the living organisms such as stored food, wood, leather and rotten plants products. So, this fungus and other organisms including the saprophytes, and mode of nutrition is saprophytic nutrition. So, organisms that derive their nutrition from dead decaying organisms is known as saprotrophs. Examples are mushrooms, yeast, bread mold and certain bacteria and fungi. In the process, they clean the environment by decomposing dead decaying organic matter and hence removing it from the environment. So, mode of nutrition is known as the saprophytic nutrition. Saprotrophs helps in cleaning the environment by decomposing the dead and decaying matter. Example is paramecium, penicillin, mold, fungi, mushrooms. So, now we will talk about the mode of nutrition in plants. The process of nutrition in plants is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants prepare their food. To carry out photosynthesis, plant required carbon dioxide, water, light and chlorophyll. So, we will talk about nutrition in plants. Photosynthesis is the one of enormous importance, has its own importance. Photosynthesis provides food for all living beings directly or indirectly. So, when we talk about definition of, then photosynthesis is a biochemical process by which green plants manufacture their own food by using carbon dioxide and water as a raw material in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, oxygen is released, respired by majority of organisms, as most organisms carry out aerobic respiration, and so plant act as a carbon sink. The chemical reaction or equation of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water converted into glucose, water and oxygen. So, photosynthesis is the only process by which solar energy is converted into chemical energy. And raw materials, we will talk about little about what are the raw materials. First, light. Light gives energy for photosynthesis, and sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll as a solar energy. Chlorophyll, photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast in the cells of leaves, and green color of plant is due to chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is in the chloroplast that it can trap light for photosynthesis. Next is carbon dioxide and water, and they are combined in the chloroplast with the help of the number of enzymes to yield sugar, which is converted into starch, and oxygen is released or formed during photosynthesis, diffuse it out into the atmosphere through stomata. So, now we talk about in very brief mechanism of the photosynthesis. It occurs in two steps: light reaction and dark reaction. Light is captured by chloroplast. The reaction occurs in the chloroplast. This is light reaction, and in dark reaction glucose is formed, and this dark reaction is also occurs in chloroplast, and they are not a separate process. Dark and light reactions occur simultaneously. So, now one question arises in our mind: what happens to the end products of photosynthesis? So, as seen in the figure, glucose is formed in the photosynthesis. It is either used by the cells or is converted and stored in the form of starch. The other end product, oxygen, is released into atmosphere. Energy is released during photosynthesis, and this process photosynthesis has its own significance. So, there are three points. First, photosynthesis is responsible for providing food to all living beings, and carbon dioxide produced during respiration by all living beings is used up during photosynthesis and does not accumulate in the atmosphere. Oxygen released during photosynthesis is used for respiration by all living beings. The food that we eat consists of many different items of food. When we eat breakfast and different items, we eat lunch, we have different items. So, you may prefer to take more of one type of food or less to another. Does your diet fulfill your body requirements, or does it satisfy your taste bud or body needs? Think. When we take new food, what type of food we are taking, and so now we will move next section, that is nutrition in human. So, for healthy growth and development of the body, you need to eat food that provides enough of all essential nutrients. What does mean nutrient? Nutrients are the chemical substances present in our food which nourish our body. So, nutrients are broadly categorized or classified into three different groups. First, energy yielding nutrient includes carbohydrates and fats. Body building nutrients are proteins and Growth regulating nutrients are vitamins and minerals. So, first we will talk about carbohydrate. They are the main source of the energy in our diet, and it may be in the form of sugar, starch or cellulose. So, there are three types of carbohydrates we have talked about. They are dietary carbohydrates, sugar sources are fruits, milk and sugar cane. Starch sources are potato, wheat, rice and sweet potato and many other. And cellulose or roughage, salads and raw vegetables. Next nutrient is fat. Fat keep the body warm. They help in the transport of food fat soluble vitamins, and common source of fats are edible oils, ghee, butter, meat and nuts like groundnuts and many other more nuts. Oxygen of 1 gram fat given about 37 kilojoules of energy. Next is protein. You have nursed protein, but often your mother insisting on you having a glass of milk or a bowl of cooked pulses or an egg. What is it? It's protein. Protein all or milk, either milk, egg and pulses all are rich in proteins, and they are required for growth of body tissues, and this is the main function of proteins. And your mother also insisting, saying eat yellow fruits and vegetables, eat carrots, papaya. So, why do we eat, or why she is insisting to take? Because your eyesight will improve. This is because carrots contain vitamin A. So, now question arises, what are vitamins? So, they are necessary for normal growth and maintenance of the body and are required in relatively small amounts. Deficiency of a particular vitamin causes disease. Overdose of certain vitamins such as vitamin A and D is harmful. So, vitamin may be classified as water soluble or fat soluble. Water soluble vitamins are vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E and K. So, we will talk about different types of vitamins, their sources, functions and deficiency diseases by one. So, first we will talk about vitamin A. Sources of vitamin A is milk, carrot, tomato, egg or yellow fruits. Functions, they keep eyes and skin healthy, and when deficiency, this vitamin is deficient in your body, it may be cause for night blindness or poor vision in dim light. Vitamin B complex or B1, vitamin B1 sources are milk, peas, cereal, green vegetable, meat. Function of vitamin B1 is growth and development, and deficiency disease is beriberi, a disease which affects the nervous system. Vitamin B2 sources are liver, eggs, milk, fish. Functions are form red blood corpuscles. Deficiency disease is anemia, deficiency of RBCs. Vitamin C sources all citrus fruits, amla, tomato, citrus fruits and water chestnut. Function of vitamin C is healthy growth, strong blood vessels, and deficiency of this vitamin causes scurvy, a disease which affects gums, swells up and bleed. Next is vitamin D. Sources of vitamin D is universal sources sunlight, milk, whole grains and vegetables, and function of vitamin D is form strong bones and teeth, and deficiency of vitamin D causes rickets, a disease which affects bones in children, making them soft and deformed. Sources of vitamin E is vegetable oil, butter, milk, whole grains and vegetables. Functions are protect cell membranes and causes deficiency diseases affect fertility. Vitamin K Source of vitamin K is green vegetables like spinach and cabbage. Functions help in the clotting of blood, and deficiency disease is excessive bleeding from wounds. Next nutrient is minerals. Minerals such as like iron, calcium, potassium, sodium, iodine are required by the body in very small quantity. So, table indicates the sources and function of some important minerals we were talking about in our next. Iron, sources of iron is green leafy vegetables, turnips, sprouts, yeast, liver, egg, meat, and function from hemoglobin. Calcium is the sources of calcium is milk and milk products. Function of calcium is form strong bones and teeth and needed for muscle movement, clotting of blood. Potassium, sources of potassium is green and yellow vegetables. It is necessary for growth and keeping osmotic balance of cells and blood. Iodine, sources of iodine is iodized salt and seafood, and function of the iodine is body metabolism and development of brain. So, next nutrient is water. Water is very necessary. We know our body is made up of 2/3 of water, and water is an important part of our body, our diet too, and water regulates the body temperature and provide a medium for biochemical reactions that are taking place in our body. So, now you are aware of the component of diet. So, one activity you can do yourself, try to analyze your own food intake. Do you include all the food component in your diet? For healthy growth and development, you need to eat foods that provide all the essential nutrients in the correct proportion. So, now we are talking about balanced diet. Eating a variety of food in proper quantity every day constitute a balanced diet, and balanced diet contains adequate amount of essential nutrients like carbohydrates, fat, proteins, vitamins, minerals and waters, and this proportion may depend on age, sex and pregnancy and many other things too. So, now we will talk about some nutritional disorder. Mineral and vitamins are absolutely necessary in the diet and form part of the balanced diet. One must be cautious about what to eat and what not to eat to maintain good health. So, now we will discuss, we have talked about various nutrients of the food. When we take food, what will happen? So, now we will discuss the process of digestion in human being. The food that we eat cannot be used by the cells in our body in the form in which it is eaten. So, conversion of complex food material into smaller substances so that it can be absorbed by the cells is called digestion, and taking in of food is termed ingestion. When we take food, it is termed as ingestion. The process of digestion is being completed in alimentary canals, where several organs perform several processes to complete for digestion. So, this is digestive system of the human. Alimentary canal is a long continuous tube constituted made by mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and rectum, and glandular organs, salivary glands, liver and pancreas and alimentary canal form the digestive system. There are several enzymes which help in the process of digestion, because process of digestion requires enzymes present in the digestive juices secreted by the organs of the digestive system. They convert complex substances into simpler ones. Enzymes are chemical which speed up chemical reactions taking place in cells. Almost all enzymes are complex proteins and remain unchanged during the chemical reaction. They can therefore be used repeatedly. So, process of nutrition involve 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So, first we will talk about ingestion and digestion. The process of taking a food through the mouth is called ingestion. The digestion of food starts from the mouth and ends in the small intestine. First, mouth. Carbohydrates such as starch are broken down or digested to form sugar. Saliva contains an enzyme, salivary amylase, that breaks down starch into sugar. It also helps in lubricating the food and making it easier for swallowing. Taste a piece of bread or chapati by biting it. What is the taste? Now chew well with teeth and roll with tongue. What is the taste now and why? You can just take experiment or activity and feel. Second, when we intake the food, to then next move to esophagus. So, there is no digestion in this part. This part is also called gullet. Esophagus, or the food pipe, by the contraction of muscles in its wall, pushes the food into the stomach. Muscle movement is termed peristalsis and helps food travel down the alimentary canal. Stomach is a highly muscular organ. Gastric glands present in its wall secrete gastric juices containing hydrochloric acid and enzymes like pepsinogen. Hydrochloric acid activates pepsinogen into pepsin and kills bacteria, and proteins are broken into smaller fragments called peptones by the enzyme pepsins. Then food moves from the stomach to duodenum, which is the upper part of the small intestine. Emulsification of fat takes place with the help of the bile juice secreted by the liver and stored in gallbladder. Bile does not have any digestive enzyme, but it creates an alkaline medium which is essential for the action of pancreatic enzyme. So, pancreatic juice contains 3 types of enzymes: trypsin, amylase and lipase. Trypsin converts peptones and proteases to smaller peptides. Amylase converts starch into maltose, and lipase converts fats into fatty acids and glycerol. So, digestion of proteins into the end product, amino acids, carbohydrate into glucose and fats into fatty acid and glycerol, is completed in the small intestine. The inner surface of the small intestine contains thin finger like villi projections called villi, which increases the surface area for absorption of digested food into the blood capillaries lining the villi. The blood then carries the absorbed food to different part of the body, and undigested food is pushed into the large intestine. Jaundice, you have heard pilia jaundice. It is caused by the liver infection. When a person suffers from jaundice, the skin looks pale with a yellowish tint due to large amount of bilirubin, bile pigment in the blood. The urine becomes deep yellow, eyes are yellow also. Jaundice is caused by the hepatitis virus, and virus is different types, and now there is an injection or that provides immunity from the virus, and infection usually comes from infected water. After small intestine part of this part, we are talking about large intestine. When food reach large intestine, the part of the body absorb water from the undigested food and solid waste is lubricated to form the feces. The feces part passes on the lower part of the large intestine, which is called rectum, and are thrown out of the body through the anus. Second step is absorption. Blood capillaries in the villi pick up digested food and take it to all cells. Next, assimilation, the absorbed food supply to cell is used to release energy and also to build up the cell component. This is called assimilation. And next, process by which undigested food material or waste is released from the body is known as egestion. So, there are some if we will not take proper diet or balanced diet, so there are some deficiency diseases or nutritional disorders. So, a disease that occurs due to lack of adequate and balanced diet is known as deficiency disease. Intake of improper or inadequate diet in human beings is called malnutrition. Malnutrition is harmful for children as it retards their mental and physical growth. So, deficiency diseases due to inadequate nutrition are of three types: protein energy malnutrition, PEM, mineral deficiency diseases, and vitamin deficiency diseases. Protein energy malnutrition or PEM is caused by deficiency of proteins in our diet. This is the prime reason why our parents insist that you should drink milk, eat pulses and other sources of protein. Tooth diseases caused due to PEM are marasmus and kwashiorkor. Marasmus, it affects children up to age of 1 year. It occurs in children deprived of mother's milk. The symptoms of this disease include loss or wasting of muscles, body develop loose fold of skins, ribs become prominent, body growth and development slows down. So, it can be cured by ensuring mother's milk for infants and by having a diet rich in protein, carbohydrate, fat, vitamin and minerals. Next disease is kwashiorkor. Among children of age group 1 to 5 years, protein deficiency causes kwashiorkor. Symptom of this diseases are enlargement of liver due to water retention, darkening of the skull with a scaly appearance, hair becomes reddish brown, legs become thin and retardation of physical and mental growth. Eating a protein rich diet that consists of milk, meat, groundnut, soya beans, jaggery can cure this disease. Next, we are talking about mineral deficiency diseases. Two common diseases are goiter and anemia, that is mineral deficiency diseases. Goiter is caused due to prolonged iodine deficiency, which causes enlargement of thyroid gland. Iodized salt and seafood are good source of iodine. And anemia, iron deficiency diseases, lesser production of hemoglobin resulting in anemia. A rich iron rich diet consisting of spinach, apple, banana, guava, egg, groundnut can help to cure anemia. When we talk about the nutrient vitamin, we have also discussed vitamin deficiency disease too. So, just we can take a recap. This is vitamin A, night blindness, vitamin D, rickets, vitamin E, sterility and vitamin K, hemorrhage, vitamin B, beriberi, vitamin C, scurvy. So, these all are. So, now we will take this session. Now we are closing this session. We will talk about more life processes in our next program. Till then, thank you and goodbye.